Hi everybody, it's Isaac here, back with another video. Today's video I wanted to talk about a few pieces of equipment that I think any Nitro Type Grinder should think about getting. That just makes the experience more comfortable, just a lot more enjoyable. Before we get started, there is an important announcement. I have moved the end of the giveaway from June 5th to May 29th, so make sure to enter by this Sunday. Let me know if that's going to cause any problems. I don't think I'll be able to change it. That is the day it's going to be. But still, it would be nice to have some feedback from fans. And if there's any date that would work better for most of you, like an overwhelming majority, then I can move it then. But until now, I'm just going to keep it on May 29th. So let's get into the video. First thing is first, this one's probably the most expensive one. If you don't have a large screen, just consider investing in some sort of monitor. It doesn't need to be super expensive. I recently just got a monitor. It's a gaming monitor, so it's pretty nice. It has like a high refresh rate, so everything looks really smooth. However, you don't really need a crazy expensive monitor. I have found it helps. I can see things way easier. I recommend at least 1080p, and it needs to be 60 Hz at least. You can research what that means. But yeah, something decently good. I'd say either 24 inches is probably the best for Nitro Type. I would say you don't really need to go larger than that. Back with one of my older desktop computers, I used to have a 27-inch monitor. The monitor itself wasn't fantastic, but it was huge. It was 27 inches, so it was decent. And I feel like that was almost too big to fit on the desk. But if you have a really large desk, that would help. But if you don't want to spend money on a monitor, you can also just make sure you're zoomed in. So many people I see grind with Nitro Type like here. And then if you go to join a race, I'm just going to do friends race. Like, this is tiny. This would be tiny. I would not want to stare at this all day. So I recommend zooming it in. That's about the farthest I'd go. You don't want it to be too big. And I'm on a 24-inch monitor, so that's really huge for me. This is comfortable. I really like this a lot. And I think that's just about perfect. Next thing is next. You need to have a keyboard that you're comfortable with using. That's easy to type on. So maybe if you're comfortable with using a keyboard with a harder actuation force, meaning it takes a bit of force to press the keys down, I would maybe consider investing in a different keyboard. Now, my endgame really suggestion for keyboards would be a mechanical keyboard. I know a lot of people don't like them. A lot of people do like the membrane laptop keyboards. I used to as well. But I've found that mechanical keyboards are just easier on your hands. And being easier on your hands will allow you to go longer without your hands hurting, even if you are sandbagging. My longest session I did on a laptop, and it was while my brother was using my keyboard, so I couldn't use that. I just used my laptop keyboard, and my hands were pretty tired, and I did a race on a mechanical keyboard afterwards when he was done with it, and it was way easier. So that's just something to keep in mind. Again, you don't need to spend too much money on this, and you don't really have to spend any money on a mechanical keyboard if you don't want to. It's not going to work for everybody. But it is something to think about, just having a keyboard that's easy on your hands and something you're comfortable with using. Next thing is next. This kind of goes along with the keyboard, and that is a wrist rest. A lot of people elevate their wrists when they type, which is a good thing to do. Don't stop doing that. I do as well. I actually don't only elevate my wrist, I elevate my whole arms most of the time. So yes, that can get tiring, and that's why I recommend a wrist rest. I don't know exactly how cheap they are. You can literally use a book if you want to. It's just not going to be as comfortable as like one designed to hold up your wrists. So you can experiment with a bunch of different stuff, but having something to keep your wrists elevated so you don't have to can help. It will probably hurt your typing performance if you're trying to go at top speed. I notice that I type faster when my wrists are elevated with nothing supporting them, but I do find that wrist rests are a lot better for just long sessions, and you're probably going to be sandbagging anyway. So it probably won't make much of a difference, so I'd recommend a wrist rest. That's a pretty good thing to invest in, or you can just use a book, like I said, or anything else that you find comfortable. A decent computer. Never mind, this is the most expensive. Now, if you don't have a decent computer and it's really laggy, it's not going to keep you from grinding. It's just going to take, the races are going to just take longer. And obviously, the longer it takes to load, that's the less races you can get done in the same amount of time. I have a gaming laptop, so I don't have to worry about race loading. Nitro Type is really poorly optimized. I will still have a few issues with it sometimes. But yeah, having a decent computer does help. You don't have to get a decent computer. If you do have a slow computer, here are some things you can do to help speed it up. First of all, make sure it's updated. It's all up to date. Second of all, clear cache on Nitro Type. So basically, go here and click on site settings. I'm not going to do that. It will reveal my Gmail. But yeah, click on the site settings. first button on top, clear browsing data or clear cache or whatever they call it now. And that will be spelled C-A-C-H-E, I believe, unless they've changed that spelling, or I'm just not good at spelling, which would be reasonable. But yeah, and you clear that, and it clears the data that it's been holding in the browser, and it basically just gets rid of errors and stuff. Typically, having your browser store data will make things faster, but for whatever reason, I've always found clearing cache makes things feel faster. So that can help. Also, making sure you don't have a bunch of stuff open in the background. You know, if you're grinding, you definitely want to have like YouTube or Spotify or something open while you're listening to something so you're not bored. But at the same time, if you have like a bunch of tabs open, that's probably not going to help. And just stuff like that can really help. Or if you have a Windows computer and you need to update the graphics card drivers, that can help. I've found Nitro Type sometimes will run smoothly on a new graphics driver, so that can really help. And then the last thing's last, this isn't so much a piece of equipment as it is just software. Nate Dogg, the Nitro Type YouTuber, not the musician, has made a extension for Nitro Type that detects when you're done with the race and it reloads it for you. So instead of having to do Control R and accidentally quit a race every once in a while when you mess up on the last character, which if you recall from Penguin Typer's live stream where he did a bunch of racing, like 500, like there was once he did 2 500s in a day, and there was once he did 1 500 in a day, and he accidentally quit a bunch of races. And this extension kind of eliminates that. So you can just have, I mean, it's basically all it is. It just detects when your race is over, it reloads the page, and that can actually cut off a fair bit of time over time. You have to do a lot of races for it to cut time off, but if you're a grinder, you're probably doing a lot of races, so anything really helps. Other than that, I really can't think of anything else to say. Just make sure if you're going to go on a big session, get a good night's sleep, make sure you stay hydrated, and you eat food. Keep your health in mind. If your hands start to hurt a lot, I'd recommend taking a break. And other than that, there really isn't much else to say. Again, that giveaway is going to be ending on May 29th. I'm going to be pretty busy the next few days. Tomorrow, I'm not sure if I'll be able to upload. Sunday, I probably won't upload. Monday, I should be able to, but I'm not 100% sure. And the rest of the week is just going to have to be played by ear. So I don't know which days I'll be able to upload. I probably won't be uploading daily for the next few days. And I probably won't be able to race quite as much, which is unfortunate because I finally did get the top 300 racer, which is always fun. Other than that, though, that's truly it for today's video. Hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next one.